Happy Monday, everybody, and thank you for tuning into 98.3 FM The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness, and of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalove. Come at you every single Monday night at 7 o'clock to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own. I almost did screw up. Thank you, guys. The ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. As you know, I'm on a quest to bring you the industry best. And today I'm settling for the rest. All right. So today, of course, my sons, my boys here. And this is I believe, part 9 of a multi-part series called The Legends of Sales, where we go through the book, The Legends of Sales here. And we talk about one of the many people that are highlighted throughout the book. Today, we're talking about Dan Kennedy.
What a guy.
Yeah.
I tell you, Marty. So excited to read about him and learn about him this week.
Yes. What was your favorite thing about Dan?
Oh, my favorite thing is that he could be found on page 105 of the book, The Legend of Sales.
Nice. Perfect. Well, a lot of things that we've been talking about, a lot of the other marketing people that we've talked about in the past have been a lot of fluff and fanciness, making your businesses or your message differentiate from everyone else. Dan Kennedy was known as the no BS kind of guy.
That's my kind of salesman.
Exactly. He was just down and dirty. He just got into it and he just said, follow the rules, very strict rules. Just understand the customer, understand the product, pitch to the customer who's going to buy the product, and that's it. Don't waste any time. So he was really just honed into it. Is even in leadership, sometimes in leadership, what we do is we talk about, we come up with a message for our team, right? And sometimes what we do is our message is something we want to hear, not so much what our team wants to hear. Yeah, okay, well, can understand. So sometimes what we have to do is understand the goal of the company, understand how our team listens, because that's technically like our customer, how they listen, and how can I put my message directly to them.
No, that's really good.
So it's a little bit different. So you guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but since our last show, we've had a couple of different episodes and I've had some other people, and I've started this new idea. Okay. And so part of it is obviously, I always talk about what's your bacon, the idea of what's the thing that wakes you up in the morning. What's the thing you're looking forward to? So first I want to do that. I want to ask you that question. I want you to think about it for a second. What is the thing, that driving force for you guys that makes you wake up in the morning, makes you look forward to your work, your side hustle, your dreams? What is the thing that makes you work towards the things you want to get? What's that thing that driving force?
My ultimate driving force is I like to create.
Okay.
And I like to work with people who I admire.
But do you promise yourself anything in the morning to say, tomorrow morning, I'm going to promise myself this in order for me to get excited about it? I promise myself nothing.
For me, it is the idea of continuous improvement. And it can be something really small, but it could be just like my life and myself. Like as I am moving up the corporate ladder, as I am bringing my team forward. For me to succeed as a leader, I have to bring my team along with it. And so we constantly have to be chasing perfection. A lot of people get kind of like frustrated or thrown off when you say perfection, because the initial response is like, well, nobody's perfect, right? It's like, I understand that. But for me, every single day, I want to be the best that I possibly can be.
Sure.
And learn new things, try new things, and constantly pushing myself to be a little bit better and learn a little bit more. So like when I wake up in the morning, it's hit the ground running, try to improve something with my team, try something new, always be open to new ideas, and always be getting better at what I do, more efficient, faster, better customer service, right. Better relationships.
I think I like the phrase that perfection is the direction, growth is the goal.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Right.
Okay. You can find that shirt on Master Happiness Wear It.
And you really, wow, I'm gonna have to get myself one.
That's a side deal. But the reason I asked you about what's your bacon, what's the direction, is to be a great marketer, I have to understand what my customers are like, and to say, do I have a product that I can sell to you? Do I have a product that I can sell to you, or service? By understanding who you are and maybe what I do, maybe the thing that wakes me up in the morning, my bacon, my driving force doesn't necessarily connect it to you, and we go in a different direction. So I might have to say, I create something, but you're not my customer. Okay? Right. And that's okay. Maybe you are my customer, so I'm going to design my marketing program to go after my exact customer instead of trying to attract everybody. I'm going to go directly after somebody. Right. Okay. So that's why it's really important. But the cool thing that I've started here is I ask some random questions here to kind of get your opinion. So it's beyond the what's your bacon, and it's all tied towards market. So Nate, I'll start with you. All right, Nate. If your personal brand, okay, you're gonna like this one. If your personal brand had a theme song, what would it be and why? And I love this song because you can't get away from singing it. And I'm like,
yeah, no, it's Push It to the Limit.
Okay.
By Tom, and I'm gonna butcher his last name. It's around, you know what it is. It's from Starface.
I know the song.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Rick Ross also made a version of it. I also like it's less family friendly.
And it's called what? Push It to the Limit. All right,
but it's just about driving hard and like always, pushing the envelope and trying to like go and get it.
I love it.
Certainly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like a classic 80s.
I can't connect the tune to the
You think Cocaine in Miami and that song starts kind of playing in the background.
Good.
But
that's it.
No, but it's just the idea of, always being confident, always keeping your foot in it and just going for it.
Nice. I liked how you had that song already. So, what I'll throw it to you. What do you have a theme song for your personal brand? When you hear it, people go, that's it, Jalove.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. People associate me with Margaritaville in my personal life.
That's your first. That's the song you want to go with.
Yeah, it's the truest too, because that is what people associate.
Really, I guess when I hear Margaritaville, you're not necessarily the first person I think of. So my song is more gay. My song is that, and it is the bare necessity. Yes. From So in other words, don't let the problems of the world get you down. Just be happy with their necessity. You can do the things you want to do. You can do more, but be happy with their necessity. Interesting. Okay. All right. So since we shared that question, Luke, I'm going to give you a different question. All right. Right. All right. Here we go. Completely random. Pick a number from 1 to 25. 24. Good. I'll give you number 8. All right. What's a marketing campaign you remember from your childhood that still sticks with you? So it could be a toy, a business, or something. Like it could be a commercial, an advertisement, a billboard, anything like that. It still sticks with you today.
What's the first thing that pops to my head?
What is that?
Zoom plates.
Zoom plates?
Yeah. Okay. And it was because, truthfully, there was a straightforwardness to how their advertisements went about. Because they just say, we're Zoo plates. Zoo plates, Zoo plates, Zoo plates. They have an annoying little song. Nice. But that is sort of like, you can't really fluff up Zoo plates. No, they are paper plates that look like animals.
There you go.
So what else can you do but just say, we're Zoo plates. Nice. Buy us, we're Zoo plates.
All right. Yeah. Do you still use those today?
Oh, yeah. I've got 18,000 in my kitchen over there.
I would say for me, it's the ones that had the cartoon mascots. So it was things like Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Blueberry. I just remember those. There was a cereal called Quiz with a Martian on it. The idea of Tony Tiger, Fruit Loops, Crips. I guess a lot of it was cereal. I didn't know that.
Sugarberry.
I
love Sugarberry.
There you go. But it was always, I like the cartoon mascot. And for some reason that sticks with me. And I think that's one of the reasons, that even my mascot from my puppet is that King Pig. Clarence. Clarence. There you go. Nice. And what are the friends called? Bacon. Nice. Yeah. All right. I just want to make sure you read that book. Oh, okay. So anyway, the important thing is that I wanted you to think about this is what were some things that stuck with you? I bet you during the show, something's going to pop in your head going, I remember like the oldest ad, the first time I saw this, maybe it was the colors, it could have been a restaurant like the McDonald's Arches or whatever it was. Something's going to stick with you that you remember an advertisement or promotion from your child. Okay. The other thing that pops in my mind is I love the idea of the free little prize in the Cracker Jack box. And I remember distinctly opening it up when they cheapened that prize, and we're looking going, I was looking forward to it. And now it's,
it's laying glass.
Yeah, it's a picture. It's like a coloring square. Whereas when I was younger, it's cool. It's like a broken piece of glass. So much
a prison ship.
Eat your popcorn. Not thankful. Those were good times. All right. So back into this. So I wanted you guys, I wanted your brains to get going and the audience. I want you guys to be thinking about that same thing. What are some of the memories you have of marketing campaigns, advertisements, billboards, newspaper ads, something from your childhood, something that just stuck with you years and years later. There's a lot of times we think about products that maybe they're not even in existence anymore, but you remember them because they meant something to you. And especially if you never owned them, you just remember seeing the ad. Okay. And that meant it was a really strong ad, and it made a direct connection with you. So, which is important because then you would have been the ideal audience because that thing resonated with you. Okay. So, Dan Kennedy was really good about this direct response copywriting. His whole deal was, like we were talking a little bit before, it was that no nonsense, no BS kind of guy. Just find my customer, write the copy specific to that customer, and make it happen. Okay. He's most known for, he has a very prolific newsletter called the No BS Marketing Letter. Okay. And you pay for this newsletter and you can get it on a regular basis. And it's still the teachings of Dan Kennedy, the information to get you that type of marketing. The other thing is, and we'll get into this, is magnetic marketing. He put out multiple books on this whole idea of the way to lead, the way to market with like magnetism. In other words, you're pulling those people and the right people in. And then obviously he was great at seminars and consulting, and he was a public speaker. He was a really sought out person. We'll get to the bacon in a second, but when we're breaking it down, the lessons from the no BS godfather of marketing, Dan Kennedy, there's a couple different things. Is positioning yourself as the expert. Okay. And I think that holds true. And I want you to think about this, is think about leaders that you follow. And remember, it could be a business that you follow, a business that you trust, because they position themselves as a leader, a true leader. And so what they do is they set the stage. They're the ones who say, this is how things must be. And they create so much credibility that you don't second guess what they say. The big company for me that I follow, because they do a really good job, that is Apple. There are cheaper phones, and some people say some of the cheaper phones are better than the Apple phones, but I am set with Apple. I love Apple. All right. I mean, an Apple Watch, we're recording on a Mac computer. I had an iPhone, etc. So I'm a Mac person. I'm also a Google person. I love my emails through Google, my sites set through Google, everything's like that. So I follow these brands that I feel really comfortable with, because I feel that they're the leaders. Okay. So what about you guys? What about, is there a product that you think of, or a person or a company you follow that you'd say they were successful because they positioned themselves as the true experts, the leader in the field, the most credible source? Are you brand specific on something? And you guys both shake your head. That's young kids.
Well, I mean, like for me, I'm very like Samsung brand. So like similar to you, like I've always had Samsung device.
So you feel trusted.
Right. And it's like there's preferences and everything like that, but they're also like a very well renowned, and something like that. If somebody came up and was like, look at this phone, it's gonna do all this and that, I'm gonna be like, that's great for you. I will, when I very rarely change phones, I'm going to be getting another Samsung.
Gotcha.
Well, they've trusted them. I trusted the product that they gave me is going to last.
Okay.
And that. So for me, specifically in that.
Number one producer of microchips in the entire world.
Samsung? Yeah. Wow. There you go. All right. So that in itself speaks volumes. If they're the number one producer, maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe. I'll never know. What about you, Luca? A grocery store. You shop whatever's convenient?
Yes.
Shop at all, or you shop at something a brand name, a very specific store?
I guess I grocery shop at Jewel Osco.
Okay.
Just because I rely on them to be cheaper than the Aldi. They're cheaper than, like, say, a Mariano's.
Yeah.
Aldi is much cheaper, but they're always incredibly far away.
Yeah.
But another thing about Aldi is they are running all sorts of loose brands. I'm not bashing Aldi, but like, I don't want ketchup made by Dave's Ketchup or something, you know?
You think about it,
like, so something like you want to see, like, I'm looking for Heinz ketchup.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
And so now that's a perfect example.
Right.
What did Heinz do to make you feel they're the expert, that Dave's ketchup wouldn't be as good?
Honestly, I think it is domination of the market.
Okay.
When you walk in there and you see all the different varieties of the Heinz ketchup.
Right.
You're like, they got ketchup figured out. Yeah, they got the low sodium. They got the no sugar. they put something weird.
They definitely position themselves as the expert.
Right. Because you're going to go there and, and next to it is the store version, which probably tastes the same.
And it might actually be made by Heinz.
Right. And it's probably just another Heinz, just with a different label on it. You see it and you're like, yep,
okay,
Heinz ketchup. I'm better that.
So that's a perfect example of that. They position themselves as the expert. So you are willing to pay even a little bit more or kind of go out of your way to go get it because of the way they position themselves. You trust that brand and you look for that brand.
Right.
So that's exactly what Dan Kennedy is saying. That's one of the things you have to be able to do. Okay. The next thing is this ruthless market selection. In other words, really go out of your way to select who your ideal customer is. Okay. Now, a great example of this is when I started my company, I was shooting all over the place. Like, I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. What is it you need? And I can help you. Right. And what happens is your message becomes saturated. Your message is never clear and you become wishy-washy on that one thing. Okay. When you think about, you go to a convenience store that sells a lot of different brands and a lot of different products because of the convenience of it. But when you go to a specialty store, you feel like you're getting a better product because they specialize in that one thing.
Right.
And it's the same thing when you look at run the business. You have to be able to specialize in one thing. When you say, I could be all things to all people, you become nothing special.
Right.
Okay. The only thing you sell them is convenience. Okay. Now, you can make that thing, I want to be the most convenient place. All right. There's convenience stores. There's White Hen, 7-Eleven, etc. That their prices are not necessarily the best price. In fact, their prices are a little higher, but you're paying extra. You're willing to do that because they're convenient. So that's the whole idea, is understand your customer, who you're after, and market directly to that customer.
Reminds me a lot of the triangle. What is it? It's fast, cheap, and good.
Yeah.
The classic.
That's it. Or which end up saying is, you tell the customer, you choose two of them, and then I'll choose the last one. So if you want good and fast, the cost is going to go high.
Yes.
So you're going to raise the cost. If you want low cost and fast speed, and the quality is going to drop.
Right.
Okay. So I think that's right. You can only be, two of those things. You can't be all three. Okay. I love that. All right. The next one is an irresistible offer. This is something that touches our customers by the heart. It grabs and pulls them into this whole thing. How irresistible is the offer? Let me ask you, for shipping that you're in charge of, is there something that you guys offer that you can think of that would be an irresistible offer? And if you can't think of anything directly with you, think of a company that you buy from that you would say, they have an irresistible offer. I just want to jump in and buy it.
I think the biggest thing for us is the communication to our customers.
Okay.
Right. In the growing day and age with shipping and trucking in general, there is such a focus on needing to know where your load is and everything. You look at Amazon. I mean, when your package is shipped, when it's out for delivery, you can see what stops it's at on the truck. And so for us, there's a similar thing, and our trucks had communication devices in them. So the shipper, if they actually wanted to, could look and see the progress that the truck was making. But it's also the extra steps, is letting them know, hey, we're running behind for a pickup. Hey, we're running a little ahead of schedule for a pickup. And so, when they come to us, it's kind of the idea the fast, cheap, or good. Whereas we go, look, we're gonna haul your freight. We're gonna be 100% on time with it. We're gonna communicate to you everything that's going on with it. And so it's that piece.
Do you guys really promote that? Do you promote all of that, especially the communication?
For me and my team, I know we do. And I know when I'm pitching, talking to other customers, and for us, a lot of it is done by the body of work, we're the operations team. So it's the sales team goes and says, hey, we're the best. Right. And then I stand in my office and I tell my team, hey, we're the best. But then my team also makes sure to communicate that to the customer. So when they have another lane or something like that, they go, I want them to haul it for me. And so then when I give my rate might be, if we're talking a difference of $50 on the load, they know it's going to get done. It's going to get communicated.
It's worth paying a little bit more.
Sure. And so for somebody who's perhaps performance bonus or whatever in that warehouse is based on getting their shipments on time, getting their product to, off the trucks and onto the shelves or whatever for their customers.
Right.
For them, that's going to draw them in. It's they're less concerned maybe about the cost. They want to know, I'm going to have that product there at the time it's supposed to be here. It's not going to jam me up, and I can rely on this carrier to get it done.
Right. So what I like about this, I'm glad you brought up cost, is because too many people say, in order to get business, I got to keep lowering the cost. There will always be someone who can do cheaper.
Right.
Someone else is eventually to get the business, someone's going to go, I'm willing to lose some money to get the business. And you can't compete like that. You just drown yourself. So instead you have to create value. And even when I'm training salespeople, the objection that comes up when somebody goes, oh, that's too expensive, is the question you have to ask is, when you say this product or this service is too expensive, the question you have to ask is, do you think it's not worth the price? That's why you're saying it's too expensive. Or is the dollar amount too far beyond your budget? Right. Those are two different issues, right? And you need to understand that, because I can't respond to that. Because if they go, no, I've got the money, but I just don't think it's worth that, then I know that you no longer trust me. I have a trust issue here that I've got to fix. If you say, no, I'm sure it's worth it, it sounds wonderful, I just can't afford it, then you have to work on something else. And you have to see, is there a payment plan? Is there something, are there some of the features I could take away to lower the cost? But you never just go, I'm going to lower the cost, right? Because then they're going to go, oh, so now every time I talk to you, you'll lower the cost? No, if I lower the cost, I have to take something away. Okay. So it's really important to do that. Never play the price game.
And what's interesting is during COVID, we actually had a customer that we raised the prices with, and it wasn't like it wasn't an exorbitant amount or whatever. We were kind of transitioning. We transitioned them to a different department. The department said, this is what we need to build in order to be profitable on this. And the customer said, we are not going to pay that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to find another carrier.
Yeah.
We're going to go with them. And they did. And for me, it was frustrating because it was the valued customer that I had. But I said, all right. And so they left. They went with this other carrier. And about 6 months ago, they reached out to us and they said, hey, this other carrier is continuously missing loads. Can you please quote us what it would be for you guys to come back? So we quoted them a very fair price. You know, it was more than what they were paying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they said, all right, we'll go with it. I walked into the office with my team and I said, look, we can never miss one of these loads.
Right.
So they come back, they agreed to run the freight with us again. I said, I don't care if half of the town is on fire. These loads will deliver as scheduled. And we've executed it. It's been great. And it's come back and it bumped our revenue up, numbers up significantly, but it was like that thing of like our service, they kind of, they went away from it. They were like, no, they're going to come back to that. So that cost piece, if it's, just because it's cheaper,
it's just, it mimics what you were saying.
Right.
So you were able to get, they wanted they thought they wanted low cost,
right?
But in reality, they needed high quality and fast service. And they needed it right away. So they were willing to raise up a little bit.
Yeah.
And at first, sometimes our customers don't realize that. The dollar amount is the easiest thing to look at. But why am I going to pay more money? Isn't like this burger the same as this burger? Why am I going to pay more money? Isn't shipping versus shipping the same? Why do I pay more money? Isn't this the plumber the same as another plumber? Sometimes we don't understand the value, and we don't understand what's most important to us until we lose one of those things. It's always great. I've seen plenty of people who they come and they go, hey, I wanted to buy that suit from you, or something like that. You quote them a price, that suit's $800. Oh my God, I can get the same suit from this other guy for $400. If you can do that, go get that suit. He goes, well, he doesn't have them in stock. He won't have them for 6 months. I go, well, I'll tell you what, if I never have to deliver it, I'll lower my price to $300. So you have to really understand what's the most important thing.
Right.
Is it the speed, the actual delivery? Is it the quality? Or is it the cost? And a lot of times people think it's the cost, but they actually want something different.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it unless you communicate.
Actually, I have a situation that's kind of like what you described.
Yeah.
Very recently, at my job, someone came in and ordered like maybe an hour before we were supposed to close. They ordered a very exorbitant amount of sandwiches.
Yeah.
While their buddy had like a camera pointed at us.
Okay.
And then 2 other guys were flanking them. It was one of those situations where it's like, hey, I want, 40 sandwiches to feed the homeless.
Yeah.
We were like, listen, this is a little late for us. We don't have the ability to make this.
Right.
And we are not going to be able to make this because we're closing in an hour. We can't make what we'll need to make that.
Right.
So then this guy gets mad and he walks out and he's like, well, I'm going to go to this other sheep place instead. And it's like,
Because they might be able to do it. We won't. Like,
Exactly. There's nothing, I can't make magic happen.
throwing it out like an insult, but it's like, yeah, that is what you should. I agree with you.
I think
it's
it's, so yeah, sometimes I think customers throw out an ultimatum like that and you have to stick to it. You can't let that fear, especially with that, you were like, it is impossible for us to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I do like that. The other thing is getting into copy that sells. Is writing the copy so that it really attracts the right customer. Once you know exactly the customer I want, you understand the pain or the problem it solves, and narrow it down. You have an irresistible offer. This is a really good offer. I see a lot of people don't know how to write the copy, and it'll be just like, come try on our new suit goods. Come, I'm a 24-hour emergency plumber. Okay. Tell me more about the copy that really drives home the idea. Instead of just saying I'm a 24-hour emergency plumber, because theoretically all plumbers are, right? So instead say, these are the top 3 reasons why people choose us over any other plumber. That is intriguing because I want to know, what are the 3 reasons? Yeah, right? You didn't say the reasons, but you said there were 3 reasons. And by asking it that way, by saying here's the 3 reasons people choose us over others. I'm so much concentrating on 3 reasons, trying to figure out those. I've already accepted the idea that people choose you over someone else. So by throwing it in that way, I have already put in your mind, I'm the best plumber, and there are 3 reasons why. So it's that type of copy, writing copy like that, stronger copy, and it brings people and solidifies the sales.
People love a list too.
Oh my God, yeah, because they even if they go, well, I can come up with 5 reasons. What are the 3 they're talking about? I need to know what 3 they're talking about.
No, you blew what lists.
The systematic follow-up. Okay, and we're back. All right, so we left off. We were talking a little bit about positioning yourself as the expert, finding your direct market, doing this, creating an irresistible offer, and then creating copy that sells so that it really attracts. And you can see how this is no BS. This is just the rules. You just do this and it works. The next thing is this systematic follow-up. All right, when somebody says no, or I'll think about it, it's up to you to continue after them. Continue. I'll pull that one. It's the idea of you don't take no for an answer. What happens is I can call you up next week. I'll follow up with you. You've got to follow up, whether it is creating what's called a drip campaign, an automatic email campaign to continue to follow up with you until you say, there is no reason for me. I don't need this because I already called a plumber, because I already bought a suit, because I already got my load shipped, whatever it is. You continue to follow up, because if you get a person to talk to you the second time or the third time, the chances of them saying yes to you are greatly increased. The first visit with you, they're not sure if they want to buy from you. You get them to get the conversation the second time, that shows that they do trust you, and now you're narrowing down your objection, and you have a better chance. Okay, so you have to follow up, because the cost of getting one customer to listen to your message is too expensive.
That's interesting. Like you said, the cost to customer, and like in sales, that's like never something that I actually considered. We've been watching a lot of Shark Tank, just because. I'd say it's great TV. It's TV. But one of the questions that's always asked is, what is the cost? Like, what's your cost per customer?
Right.
And it's something I've never thought about, but just like the amount of time, and it might not be a ton of money, but the amount of time just involved in acquiring a customer. And that's what makes a product deemed sellable or not. Because if you're spending, X number of dollars per new customer you acquire, eventually that's just eating right in your market. So is it easily marketable, easily draws people into it?
Perfect. I mean, because that's when you think about getting back to Dan Kennedy, he's looking at it and he's strictly a numbers guy. So if he would come to you and say, so what's the acquisition cost for a customer? What does it actually cost you to get a customer? And you break it all down. You have to take a look at all your operational expenses. You look at how many customers you have. You look at your marketing and advertising expenses. You look at your sales expenses, all of that, and find out how many customers you have. And then you start looking at it going, okay, how do we continue with that? When we invest X amount of dollars in advertising and we pay commission to salespeople, how many new customers do we get? Okay. And understanding that we're going to lose some customers, etc. So you play those numbers and you come up with a final number to say, this is what it costs to land the customer. Then you can come up and say, and this is what a customer generates as income over a year or whatever, a fixed period. So you have to come up with the values of all of them, because that's how you end up creating a marketing budget. Because you can't just say, well, let's start running billboards. Let's start running TV ads. Let's start investing thousands of dollars into social media. What is it going to get for us? And to say, well, I guarantee it'll get us at least 2 more customers. Okay, well, what if we're investing more money than those customers generate?
Right.
Then getting 2 new customers, we've lost money on it. So a lot of businesses just go, I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing to attract the customers. But what Dan is saying, no, just run it by the numbers.
Right.
Don't step over that line. This is how much it costs you to get a customer. Play with it. In other words, raise it, invest more money, see if you get more customers. If you don't, go back and find that sweet spot. Find the spot where you're happy with, that you're getting more customers, you're growing at the rate you want to grow, considering new customers and customers leaving you. You're running at that rate, and it's a good amount of money, so you're generating profit. You're not just breaking even. Okay? And so then but you have to continue to do this. And the last part is that unyielding discipline. You have to stick to that. You can't go, oh, let's try something crazy. Okay, if you're going to try something different, you have to be able to justify. Do the numbers seem to fit? And when we try it, are we watching the numbers to prove, yes, it does work? Okay. And so he looked at it going, and if you follow that, you will always know you're winning or losing.
Right.
Okay. It's the guys who are like, well, let's just try this. Well, that didn't work. Let's try this. Well, that didn't work. Okay. How do you quantify it?
Right.
How do you know to try the next thing? How often and how much money are you willing to lose playing that game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So any questions on this or anything you can think of, other businesses that you think, wow, I believe they really work well like that, or businesses that you know of that you think, I can't imagine them doing that behind the scenes.
I think one company that just stands out to me, just talked about in the way it's ran, Uline.
Okay.
Is just because they have, they have the fast and the good, or the quality piece.
Yep.
Locked down. You're going to pay a little bit more.
Right.
But
Right.
I know you had an adventure with Uline years ago.
Yes.
Regarding the quality, but just the way that they do that, they'll tell you, if you are, like, pretty much the thing is, if you're within the radius, a specific radius of us, if you order by 6 p.m., you will have it the next day.
Right. Right.
And from a transportation piece, I've seen the hoops they get jumped through.
Right. Right.
Do it. And it is some serious stuff. Cut time for rail yards, the pressure they put on and everything like that. But it's people know and people buy from them, even though they're paying a little bit more.
Yep.
They know they're getting a good quality product because of, what they're going to get. And the business is ran top to bottom.
Oh my God.
But it's like people hear those stories and they see the quality that's delivered, and it's kind of like the industry leader in like office supplies and everything. They send out a catalog that is.
I still get that catalog back to me. Right. Yeah.
But it is, people know and understand it, but it's a very specific person. It's somebody who wants a good quality product and all that. If you can't afford it,
right,
go buy the cheap stuff off Amazon, and now you're buying 3 sets of office chairs in the span of 5 years, as opposed to one good one. And
it was really neat because I love this, because you're right. I did sell a product in the company I worked for before directly to you. And it was neat. They said that the product we were selling was the most complicated product they'd offer. They were like, look, we are a box place. We sell cardboard boxes. Okay. And so we had a mechanical lock on a metal cabinet. And they said, this is the most detailed, the most complicated thing that they sell in Uline. Everything else was obvious. So we had to be meticulous on our instruction sheets for that. We had to go through their process. So they were like, these instruction sheets had to be dummy proof. And they were private labeled. They had the Uline name on our cabinet. Okay. And so what was great about it was it allowed us then to improve our instruction sheet, because our instruction sheet was to the point where we're like, this is a good instruction sheet. And according to them, that was just barely good enough. Yeah. They wanted it to be as close to perfect as possible. Right. So they pushed that limit. And I remember pitching other products to them, and they said, like following Bill and Kennedy's thing, that is not our customer. We don't sell that. We're not interested in selling it because we sell these products to these customers. You're asking us to come over here or over here. So it was really good. I do like the efficiency. That's still family-owned business.
Yeah. It is incredible the way.
And it's not that old of a business. I think they started in '86.
Yeah. It's now. So the original owner sold, and then I know the sons have a heavy piece of it.
Okay.
But I mean, top to bottom, the way it's ran. I mean, our transportation, like they have metrics, they have KPIs that they hold our eyes to, unlike any other customer. Like they are our premier account. We have to treat them with white glove service.
Oh, sure, without a doubt.
But the thing that we've discovered is much like you said, from a transportation standpoint, our expectations and some of our SOPs and some of our just basic things, what we do for them, we've started rolling out to our other customers because they hold us to such a high standard that we meet that standard. So we've actually improved in certain areas because of the pressure that we've seen.
There you go.
All right, we've got to.
I love it. I love it when a customer can be so demanding that it improves us as vendors. That's really a neat thing to happen. And again, just getting back to this is, I think what we do is they work very specific. They know how to create that catalog. They know exactly what they're doing. They send that catalog. They promote directly to the right customers, all right, with the right products. They are very simple with their copy, with their design. They don't go out of their way and say we're everything. No, we're very specific. So that's why they found a great niche. They follow all of this, and no, they're number crunchers. They're looking at every penny, everything. Exactly. So it's a good company to learn how they run and mimic a lot of what they did. So you know what? We're looking at this. We've got about 20 minutes live, and I thought this show was going to go quick. All right. And so now you haven't actually gotten into the bacon, although we've covered everything. Okay. And the reason we call the show Bacon Bits is because everything that bacon touches becomes just a little bit better. But I'm not talking about the bacon for chewing.
Oh, no, Marty. He's talking about.
Oh, I thought you usually do it. The bacon for doing.
There you go.
It is.
Nice. That was like handy to you. Awesome. All right. So anyway, so what we do is we're going to use the acronym BACON to continue this conversation the last half of the show. So the bacon, when we're talking about mimicking or the things that businesses can do right now to start doing right now to mimic what Dan Kennedy has done, to use his expertise, is B is going to be build a responsive list. Okay. So in other words, what you're creating, it's a list of the customers you want. Okay. And create a system to sell directly to them the way they want to be sold, the way they need to be sold to. And one of the best things is this whole idea is something that's called a bribe to subscribe. Okay. So what you're doing is you're building a list. So I have a comprehensive list of people to continue to do that. So what we do is I promote things that I'm not necessarily selling you anything yet. The only thing I want from you is I want you on my email list so that I can give you those messages on a regular basis, just like Uline that's going to send out those catalogs. They want me on that mailing list to send me the catalog so that when I'm ready to buy, I have everything in front of me.
Right.
Okay. So it's golden to get the right type of list. And so, because what you do is you run the numbers and you say, oh, so out of every 100 people who are on my mailing list, let's say 10 people buy from me regularly. And out of those 10, they buy in a volume of X. So now I look at it going, what is the cost of me sending out those emails to the other 90? Sending out emails is pennies. It doesn't cost much at all. So I'm going to continue to grow the list because I know that every time I build another 100, I can end up with 10 customers because the numbers are telling me that. So what am I willing to invest in my promotion to get you to sign up on my list? If I know 10% are going to start buying something. So I'm willing to spend some money. I'm willing to do something to say, hey, if you subscribe, you're going to be entered into a raffle to win something. If you subscribe, what you're also going to get is maybe you'll get a free trinket. If you subscribe, you get 25% off your first order. Whatever it is, it's to get them on the list, knowing that a percentage of them will become customers. So that's the B, build a responsive list. The A here, you like to say, it's all written down. Maybe you guys always thought I had to remember. All right. A is the architect of an irresistible offer. And that's the same thing we talked about before. is come up with something that if I'm on the line there, if you know that I'm the type of customer who might buy this, okay, maybe I'm buying a little bit from you, or maybe I'm buying from a competitor. What is the irresistible offer that logically and emotionally I just can't avoid? I have to just do this. You know what's really good with it for me specifically is Amazon. Amazon knows I love buying stuff. Okay. And I never used to be that way. I was like, I'm never buying online. I want to go into the store. So now I get emails on a regular basis. Hey, we found some stuff you might like. And I was like, I'm sure you did. I open it up. I'm like, oh, I do like that. So it knows me. It knows my customer habits. It watches everything I'm shopping because it has me not necessarily, it has me on their email list, but it has so much information on me. All the things I browse, all the things I purchase, how long I spend looking at a product. Do I put it in my wish list? Do I finally buy it? Do I put it in the cart, take it out of the cart? What's the deal? They know everything I'm looking at. They know when I stop and I look at, let's say, a shirt a little bit longer because it's red, okay? And a blue shirt, I just pass by, right? They know all of this data, so then they can calculate, this is something that Marty would like. Let us tempt him with that. And they're really good at it. So you create an irresistible offer by knowing your customer and putting something in front of them that they're really going to like. Okay. So think of that. Is there anything in your lives that you can think of that was an irresistible offer?
I know someone who's pretty good at architecting irresistible offers.
And, do you?
Don Vito Corleone.
Yeah. There. Yes.
I'm going to architect an irresistible offer.
All right. That's kind of confused. But you know what? It was irresistible because the fear of not taking in was really life or death.
Yeah, he has, and you know what? I would say his strategy is very no BS.
Yes. It was down to, I'm only going to ask you one time. And if you refuse, you refuse. Right. Yes. What about you? Has there ever been an irresistible offer or something that even if you go back and you go, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I bought that.
Like for me, like growing up, like Legos were my favorite toy.
Okay.
Like I loved them. And so we would get the Lego catalog. Something that was cool that Lego always did, and I haven't seen any of the newer catalogs, but when they would come across, they would have the sets. They'd also put a little blurb in it, like a story of like so and such and such were here, and then they got into the race truck and they did this, and I was just like, oh,
nice.
That's so cool. I have to have that
right.
Truck. And like, as I'm turning into an adult, I'm not a materialistic person. But as like a child, like I would become fixated with it. I would draw pictures of the Lego set. Nice. I would talk to the aunts, the uncles, anybody that would listen to me. I'd cut the pictures out of the magazine and show them to my mom and be like, look at this. I need this.
Isn't this so cool?
This will change everything. Right. She'd be like, you have all of those pieces. You can build it yourself. And I'd be like, but this one, all the colors.
Exactly.
I gotta have this.
But isn't it amazing? It touches something inside you that you can't explain.
Yeah, but but just the little bit of extra, because they could have just put the sets on, but like, this is the police station, and it is $20.
Right.
And I've been like, cool. There's a burglar on the loose in Lego City, and there's the police station. The officers rush out with their cars, and I'm like, I could, I can build a getaway vehicle, and I'm like, I got all these pieces. I got to complete the story.
That's perfect. So that falls in line. Remember earlier this year we talked about J. Peterman. Writing a story that was so compelling that you want to buy the product because you want to be part of that story. Right. Okay, so that's that same thing. So I'm going to tell you about the most irresistible thing while you're telling the story, pop in my head. See this in a magazine somewhere where it was this handheld tomato slicer. Okay, now it's amazing because what happens, you have to take a slice of the tomato first. That's how you start. You take a slice, lay it there, and you roll over this way and this way, and it had like 5 or 6 blades in it. And so it diced the slice of tomato, perfect for making salsa. Perfect. And the commercial or whatever I'm watching was it's done. It was done, right? And you're like, oh my God, I got to get this, right? So I go to order it, and it was very cheap, very inexpensive, right? But it was like $9.99 for shipping. And they go, but if you order 2, we'll give you a better price, and we'll cut the shipping in half, right? So I got to get 2. I'm going to buy 2 because I can give one to somebody, right? Not thinking Why am I paying for someone to give? So you buy 2. And when I clicked on 2, it said, but if you buy 3, right? In the end, I got free shipping. 5 tomato slicers. So I bought 5 tomato slicers to get the free shipping and a discount on these, right? So they came in and they were more like, I always say they were tomato pushers. It was like, I would push the slice of tomato. And I was like, now I have 5 of these, right? But I was like, such a deal.
Yeah. Free shipping.
Yeah, I got them.
I spent $50 on tomato slices and I would say $9.99 on
It doesn't matter if it works or not because I got the shipping for free.
Right.
But it was so irresistible for some reason. There was something about the commercial, the idea of that I could make salsa so much quicker. So anyway, so that was the architect of an irresistible offer. I think that's really important. The C in bacon is communicate with direct response copy. Okay. Focus on what the reader gets, not what you're selling. Okay. So the idea of just that whole thing was they weren't saying, look at how easy you can cut tomatoes. It was, you could make your own salsa very quickly. This is the thing that I'm getting out of it. Right? People buy clothing because they see the ads and they're like, I want to look like that guy. Okay. And you continue to sell what the person wants. What are they going to get out of this? You don't sell the product, sell what the feeling, the emotion that they want. That's what's so very important. If you were going to sell something or you saw an ad that somebody was selling something that you really felt they sold you on the end result, not the product itself. And I'll tell you, one of the first things is vehicle commercials. Every time you see a truck commercial, a Jeep commercial, pickup truck commercial, they're driving through the snow, they're driving, flying over sand dunes, they're driving through the forest, knocking down trees, killing deer or whatever it is. And you're like, that's what I want, right? And then you buy it and you're like, and I drive on the street back and forth. So, but it's the image of it, right? You look at perfume ads, and the perfume ads or the high fashion ads are these people in these luxury, like mansions, these castles, dressed impeccably, right? All the men are wearing tuxedos, the women are ball gowns and music fashion gowns, and they're black and white. The music is just perfect. People whisper to each other about, I need that scent on me, right? It doesn't, that perfume or that cologne means nothing, but it's the image that they sell. Okay.
I think a big one is if you think about like the pharmaceuticals and like the ads, right? And like, we're going to cure you of this. Your knees aren't going to hurt.
Yeah.
You are going to have
but it's more than your knees aren't going to hurt. They're going to go, now you can play tennis.
Right.
And and play with your grandkids.
Right.
And you're like, I don't even have grandkids, but I want to do that.
You can jump off of the swings again.
Yeah, exactly.
You are going to be able to run a marathon.
Everyone in a meditation commercial just has so many hobbies.
No kidding.
They're always out and about.
Where are they finding these people?
They're watching, and it's just they're living like that perfect life, and it's all because of that little pill.
But what's interesting is what they're really honing in on is when you are suffering from pain or a certain specific ailment. There are so many people that are like, I would do anything to feel better.
Right.
And they know that. And so they're like, you hate constant migraines.
But they don't, but the thing that's important is they don't stop at will cure the migraine. They paint a picture of a life you can't really live.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it's always summer in those commercials. Right.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful out. The only time it rains or snows is when they're talking about this is what your life is like.
Right.
You're supposed to, locked out of their house. It's raining, going with that migraine. Right.
Right.
But with this pill, bing, it's sunny out again.
Right.
So they paint what you're getting. They sell what you're getting, not, because if they just said, here's a pill, look at this, look at how pretty this pill is. You want to take this pill? You wouldn't sell it.
Right.
So it's important. The O is this: orchestrate a multi-step follow-up. And this is what I get back into, is that it's so important that salespeople is to do the follow-up. Okay. And that's follow-up on 2 different ways. If I sell you on something, okay, the chances of me selling you more and again are better because you've already bought something from me. As long as I do a good job, I have to work and continue to follow up with you to keep you a good customer. Okay, that's if you say yes, I'm going to continue to follow up with you, because you're going to buy more, and my acquisition cost to get you to buy again is much lower because I don't have to advertise. I don't have to promote. I don't have salespeople traveling, knocking on your door for the first cold call. It's just me doing a follow-up call, connection with you, sending you more information. So the acquisition, the cost of me generating more sales out of you is much lower. Okay. Now that's if you said yes. If you said no, I have to look at this. I've already invested money into getting my message to you, right? That you've said, no, not right now, or no, I don't see the value in it, or I'm not in a hurry. I have someone else to talk to, whatever the objection is. I've already invested a bunch of money. I have to say, how much more am I willing to invest to see if I can turn that no into a yes? And it's cheaper for me to follow up with you than it is for me to say, okay, we're done talking to Nate. Let's go talk to somebody else. Okay. Because you've already established a relationship. You already know about us, know what we offer. Let me just narrow in on focus in on the objection, cover that. Let's see if I can sell you. And the cost of that sale, then you can see the cost of the sale is much lower. Okay. And that's what Dan can be possible.
Yeah. And I think there's a danger with those follow-ups too. You have to be specific and targeted and all that, but you can't be annoying.
No,
right?
Oh my God. Yes,
I work with operations, and as a result, a lot of people look and see that I'm in operations on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Do very minimal amount of work. They can get my company email address, and so they know that being in operations, I can get them in touch with whoever I need. They know that I'm not the one who's in charge of buying all of the company phones,
right,
or something like that. Yeah. But they know that I know who is.
Yeah,
and so constantly I'm bombarded with emails that somehow slip through our spam filter.
Yeah.
And I just, one of them specifically was this guy who I had to get probably like 5 emails that said, do you want me to come do magic for your office? And it was, and I was like, I love it. I saw the first one. And I was like, no. And I was like, somewhere, I'm sure that works. There's somebody just like at the end of their rope got tasked with a team building exercise and like, let's get a magician in here, I guess. But I saw it and I was like, no. A couple weeks later, I get the exact same. By the 5th time, I got the exact same email from the same guy. I didn't hear from you. Are you still interested in possibly me? I was like, dude, no. And I actually emailed back and I was like, please. You know, so a lot of times they have the unsubscribe button on the bottom of the email or something. But I was like, come on, man. Like, this is it. This is how you're going to sell your business to me, is emailing me the exact same email every single time. Once, fine. But like that follow-up is just, you know.
Well, and I'll tell you, here's 2 problems in the way that this guy went about this. Is number 1, he didn't narrow down his focus, which is the end, which is narrow your focus in numbers. He didn't narrow it down. He can talk about his understanding. Your company might be his customer, but you are not the right person to talk to.
Right.
The thing he needed to sell to you was, why is it good for you to give him the name of the right person to sell to?
Right.
That's the only thing he should be selling to you. He shouldn't be selling the product to you because it doesn't matter. You don't make the decision on that. Right. So he was trying to sell you a product that you come back and go, buddy, I'm not the right person. Right. So that was number 1. He didn't focus on the right customer. That would be like me selling and calling you and saying, hey, we've got these beautiful women's dresses. You want a woman's dress? And you'll be like, no, I don't want a woman's dress. Right. And you're like, yeah, but these are beautiful. I don't care how beautiful. And they're inexpensive. It doesn't matter. I am not going to buy one of these. We'll throw in high heels. Okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm the wrong client. And so he's spending a lot of time and energy going after the wrong client. So he's got to narrow his focus. The second thing is when you follow up, because you're absolutely right. Follow-up can turn into an annoyance, and we never want that to happen. What you have to do is it's always got to be need-based. When I follow up with you, I can't say, are you ready to buy now? Because that means I want something. Okay. I have to call up and say, Luke, I'm so sorry for bothering you. I didn't mean to be a pest, but you need to hear this one thing. That the offer that I gave to you before, prices are going up next month. And if you are interested in this, this is in the next 10 days, you have to get this. Otherwise the prices go up and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm only calling you because this is something you need to hear. Okay. It's that whole idea of, we just got this new product in, and I know what the last time we talked, Nate, you said, if we had this, this, and this, you might be interested. We do have that. So you need to see these things.
It's kind of like that specific example reminds me of, who are we talking about about like being like really understanding what your customer is asking for. We were talking about the clocks, and they were like, talking about a square clock versus but actually they want like brown or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly. It's real listening.
Right. Yeah. Because that's going to help you with your follow-up. Because if you do that follow-up and you actually like take the time in that very first initial contact to understand what they need, then when you come back with that follow-up, you can absolutely be like, right, you talked about, I said we could do this in this sort of time frame. I could give you this product or something like that. And you're like, no, but if you have this, because I'll do that. Like when I'm dealing with something, I'm like, that doesn't really fit. A lot of time brokers will call us and they're like, we got a load going from Texas to Oklahoma. Yeah. And I'm like, no, but if you got something going from Chicago to Milwaukee, I'm interested. Yeah. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, I get a phone call. Hey, I had in my notes that you did that. Perfect. I got this Chicago to Milwaukee load. And now I'm like, okay, so you paid attention. Yeah. Now I'm like, okay, sure. All right. What is it? What's the price? And that sort of thing. So that follow-up has to be rooted in data and everything from the first concept.
And that's this is exactly the whole idea of Dan Kennedy. It's played by the numbers, that accuracy. It's none of the fluff. Just what am I selling? Who needs this? Who are the specific people who need it? We're going to write the copy. We're going to create that irresistible offer to the exact person so that when they're ready to buy, I'm the one they're going to buy from. And I'm going to follow up with them saying, I know this is something you need, okay, because I know enough about you. And you're going to go, yeah, I really do need this. Here is the irresistible offer. Right. And you're like, that is a really good offer. Okay. And it's on the table. It's ready for you. And I'm going to follow up with you, continuing to push the idea. You need this. You need to do this now. You need this. Not I need it, but you need it, because then everything fits. And just think about that. If there's something you really need, right? And I have that then, and I'm giving you an irresistible offer, and I'm explaining it with great copy, and I'm friendly, and I'm telling you, and I'm reminding you that the reason I'm showing you this is because you need it. That for you to say no doesn't make sense, right? It's when you hear the no, 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 no all the time, it's usually because you're missing one of those steps. If you're going after the wrong customer, you've had the wrong product, your offer isn't explained right, you're not listening to them, etc. Getting back to like what Dan Kennedy does is that same thing all the time. It's follow the numbers, be really intelligent about it. The way that I always put it is, it's, you have three brains in your body. The neural passages, the pathways. It's actually the most are obvious in your brain. The next largest amount of neurons is on your stomach, and then the least is on your heart. But those are the three. That's why a lot of people consider the stomach the little brain, it's called, because the stomach sends more information up to the brain than it receives from the brain. So there's a lot of conversation, and then there's a lot less in the heart, but the heart sends information to the brain. So if you think about those three brains in the human body, and you say, I'm going to give you a message that's logical, that connects with your brain. I'm going to give you a message that's emotional, that connects with your heart, and give you a message that your gut reaction is, let's do this. Okay. If you can do that, all right, and it's logical, because this is something I need on the right customer, it's the right product. Emotionally, the message is right. It makes me, I got to do this. It's irresistible. And I give you a call to action to do it right now. The better spot will increase sales, or double sales, triple sales. Okay. That's how you do it. But you've got to do it. It's all got to make sense, and you've got to do it the right way. You can't just go, well, let's try this and see what happens. Okay. So that's the gist of the whole thing here. So that's it. And
there is a really great YouTube video you guys should watch that touches on what you guys mentioned about how follow-up can sometimes turn annoying and how you don't want that. A guy buys a mattress and he tracks just how many times after he bought that mattress that the mattress company is emailing him, attempting to sell him another mattress. So he decides to make a project of this, and he tracks the amount of money he'd have to spend in order to buy every single mattress that they're selling him, and then also where he would store it.
Nice.
So he like has this graph of his apartment and like where he'd have to store it. And eventually he's like, I can only keep storing these mattresses if I rent another apartment.
Yeah.
So I have room to store these mattresses. Otherwise, great video.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure to get their take on modern marketing, who would it be?
I'd want to talk to someone who's a great marketer. Honestly, Disney's probably the best.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Yeah.
That's the one. Because he was from an entire generation of people who were basically doing what he did of Works.
Yeah.
Max Fleischer. But he was the one who was like, I'm not just silly cartoons.
Yes.
I have the capability to make anything.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do this.
I agree.
Well, yeah, because what's the thing is like, as long as imagination is alive, there's always something new at Disneyland or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a really good one.
You want that one, or here? I got a different question. You'll like this one.
Okay.
If you're a team leader, you'll like this. Would you rather lead a team of brilliant jerks or a team of lovable, average performers?
Brilliant jerks. Absolutely. I mean, 100%.
I'm going to leave
An unsurprising answer.
As well, I wouldn't call myself brilliant. I dabble more in the jerk department, but it's like for me, it comes down to like results and also like the drive and all that. I'd rather have people that are motivated. If I have two drivers and one of them is the nicest guy and super friendly and everything, and he's always late. Yeah. Or another guy who's kind of crabby, but gets absolutely everything done. 2 metrics. I mean, it's pretty
both
simple.
go for the super.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. I'm your host, Marty Jalove, and these two guys are
Lou and Nate.
All right. Stay tuned every week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.